welcome. Let's get straight into the latest breaking news that has everyone talking. Today we are discussing the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, and how it has caught the attention of the US, the UK, and international human rights groups. Before we go further, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Now, let's start with the basics. Nnamdi Kanu is a British Nigerian activist and the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, a group that has long demanded independence for Nigeria's southeast region. This case has been controversial for years. He was first arrested in Nigeria, then jumped bail and fled abroad. In 2021, he was reportedly arrested in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria under circumstances that have raised many questions about human rights and due process. Many people say his detention is politically motivated, while the Nigerian government insists it is a matter of national security. Now, here is where it gets more interesting. Both the United States and the United Kingdom have officially spoken about his detention. The UK in particular has faced criticism for not taking stronger action, despite Kanu's British citizenship. Some advocacy groups have even said that the UK risks being complicit if something were to happen to him in detention. Meanwhile, US-based organizations, especially those representing Igbo people, have called on the US government to pay close attention to how Nigeria is handling this case. This international attention has placed President Bola Tinubu under pressure. His government maintains that IPOB is a security threat and that Kanu's detention is justified. But critics argue that the government is suppressing dissent and not respecting human rights. This case is a delicate balancing act. On one hand, the government needs to protect national security. On the other, it must demonstrate fairness and uphold the rule of law. Now, listen closely. This story is important for everyone in Nigeria and beyond. It is about much more than just one man. It is about justice, human rights, and how the country treats those who oppose it politically. It is also about how Nigeria is seen internationally. Countries like the UK and the US are watching closely, and their responses can affect Nigeria's reputation and its relationships around the world. This case also has deep domestic implications. In the Southeast, many people feel marginalized. IPOB's movement taps into real feelings of neglect and desire for self-determination. How the government handles this situation will influence the peace and stability of the region. If the government is seen as fair and transparent, it may calm tensions. But if it is perceived as harsh or unjust, it could increase unrest. I want you to think about this. Do you believe that Nnamdi Kanu's detention is about justice, or is it more about politics? Let me know in the comments below. And while you think about that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can keep up with this story as it develops. The international reaction adds another layer. The UK and US are not only concerned about Kanu himself, but also about the broader implications for human rights. They are closely monitoring Nigeria's legal process, detention conditions, and whether Kanu is given a fair trial. This is significant because it shows that Nigeria's actions are under global scrutiny. How the government responds could affect foreign investment, diplomatic relations, and even the perception of Nigeria as a country that respects rule of law. President Tinubu's government finds itself in a difficult position. On one side, they must assert national sovereignty and show that they are serious about security. On the other side, they cannot ignore international opinion or risk being seen as violating human rights. This makes every statement, every decision, and every action from the government closely watched, both at home and abroad. I also want you to pay attention to the legal aspect. Kanu faces terrorism and treason charges, and the Nigerian courts are handling these cases under serious scrutiny. Observers around the world are asking whether he is getting a fair trial and if his rights are being respected. This is not just legal, it is political, social, and even emotional for many Nigerians who feel connected to this issue. Now think about the broader consequences. the way this case is handled can affect internal peace. If people feel justice is done, tensions may ease. If they feel justice is denied, protests and unrest could rise. Economically, foreign investors are watching too. Stability and rule of law are key factors for investment. So this case has implications far beyond politics. Here is another key point: the diaspora. Nigerians living abroad are watching closely. Many are speaking out through advocacy groups, social media, and even lobbying their governments to pay attention. This is why the US and UK have become involved. The case is no longer just domestic. It has become global. Now, take a moment and think about this. How should a government balance security concerns with human rights? It is not easy, but it is crucial. President Tinubu's handling of Kanu's detention will be remembered as part of his legacy. It is a test of leadership, fairness, and international credibility. Throughout this story, remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with friends and family so everyone can understand what is happening in real time. Keep your notifications on. This is a developing story and we will continue to follow every update. Let's also consider the people in Nigeria who feel directly affected. The Southeast has a long history of feeling marginalized. IPOB's activism resonates because it expresses those grievances. How the government responds, with dialogue, transparency, or force, will impact the national unity and peace of Nigeria. This is why this story is not just news. It is part of the conversation about who we are as a country. Even internationally, this story has implications. Countries like the UK and the US are looking at Nigeria and thinking about human rights, justice, and governance. Their involvement puts pressure on the government to act fairly. For Nigeria, it is an opportunity to show the world that it can handle complex issues with fairness and professionalism. Think about this. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is really a mirror. It shows us the challenges Nigeria faces, balancing national security with civil liberties, domestic politics with international perception, and historical grievances with modern governance. How it is resolved will send a message to Nigerians and the world about the kind of nation Nigeria wants to be. Before I continue, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think should happen next? Should there be more dialogue, more international involvement, or a stronger focus on national security? I want to hear from you. We also cannot ignore the human aspect. Behind all the politics, there is a man, a family, and communities waiting to see how this unfolds. Whether you support Kanu or not, it is important to remember that this is about people's lives, rights, and hopes for justice. As we continue, we will watch closely how the Nigerian courts handle the trial, how President Tinubu and his government respond to international scrutiny, and how communities across Nigeria react. Each of these pieces affects the other. Politics, justice, diplomacy, and social stability are all connected. The story is still unfolding, and it is being watched worldwide. That is why I keep reminding you, like, subscribe, and stay connected. This is the kind of news that affects not just politics, but our everyday lives, our economy, and our place in the world.